Hello guys, you are welcome to another episode on my channel and you are highly welcome. Thank you my returning subscribers for tuning in today to see this episode. Thank you very much. I am glad that you are finding the time to watch these videos. Thank you. And for the sake of those who are joining me for the first time on this channel, I am Chris. I am a graduate student at the Simon Fraser University and I am on a fully funded scholarship. I study philosophy and I have interest in the philosophy of medicine, biomedical ethics, and African philosophy. And on this YouTube channel, I talk about scholarship opportunities and education. I offer education mentorship for those in the humanities, social sciences, and multidisciplinary programs. And also, everyone is welcome to this YouTube channel because you'll find one or two tips to help you should you decide to apply for graduate schools in North America, Europe, and Australia, and English, or all the other English-speaking countries in the world. So, thank you very much, my new viewers. Please do subscribe, press the like button, leave your comment, and share this video with your friends. You will never know who it can help and who it would be beneficial to. So, thank you guys. You are all welcome. I'm making sure that to have good content that you would find useful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. So, what are we going to talk about in today's episode? Well, I'm going to be telling you about the different kinds of free money, or what you generally call a scholarship. There are different kinds. At least I categorize them in two categories, and I'm going to tell you about them and which one you should focus on and which one you should direct your energy to based on your preparations, based on your academic background and what you have to your portfolio and what you have to offer, so that you will not deplete your energy while focusing on all these other kinds of fundings everywhere. So first and foremost, I am always very careful the way I use words, like scholarships, fully funded positions. I'm always very careful the way I use them. Well, not everyone cares, but they're actually different kinds of things. So when I say scholarship, what do I mean by scholarship? When I say assistantships, what do I mean by assistantships? And when I say fellowships, what do I mean by those? So at the end of this YouTube video, by the time you finish viewing me, you would understand that they are actually different, and even it will help you whenever you want to talk about these things. You will know how to use your words. They do not all mean the same thing, although popularly you can call all of them scholarships. Even while the time I was making this video, I was trying to see what can I title this video, but so that people would at least know what's going on. And I used the word scholarship, different kinds of scholarship, although they are not all scholarships. You understand? So, anyways, this is what I want to be discussing with you as the next application season comes. By next month, many schools will be opening in their application portals by the 1st of September, and it runs through to maybe middle of January and even till February. So yes, so that is what I'm going to be discussing in this episode, and I do hope you like and learn. So scholarships, assistantships, and fellowships, what they do all have in common is that they are free money that you get when you are going to school. So, but they don't mean the same thing, and they are not the same kind of things. They are not the same kind of free money. First, let me start with scholarships. Scholarships are those free money you get from either your school or from the government of any country or from different non-governmental organizations trying to improve the lives of people, young aspiring academics or young aspiring professionals who are doing so well in whichever field that they are working on. So they give out this free money as a way of reaching out to the greater as a way of reaching out to human beings, to humanity, and as a way of giving back to communities and raising productive human beings in every society. So scholarships do not expect anything in return from the student. So whichever awarding bodies give you this kind of scholarships, they give it to you free of charge. They don't expect anything. They are giving it to you. You should use it for the best of your ability to better yourself and better your country. So some of these scholarships, some of this kind of free money include what some of us already know, things like America, Fulbright Scholarship of the United States of America, Rhodes Scholarship of the University of Oxford, the Gates Cambridge Scholarship of the University of Cambridge, the China Scholarship Council, the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship of European Union, the DART Scholarship, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship, the Marshall Scholarship. So all these are scholarships awarded by different awarding bodies, schools and government of various countries in the world. So they exist and they are free money they give to hardworking students to better themselves and better their communities. So I try to, when I was studying scholarships, I try to pinpoint the categories, the criterion on which these scholarships are based. And this is just for me, from my own personal research. I'm not saying this is canonical, that this is applies. This is just my own summation of what I've seen, the trend I've seen in some of these scholarships. So what I found is that these scholarship, whichever name they call themselves, whichever awarding bodies that give them out, they are based on 4 criteria. One of them is academic achievement. They want to see that this is a promising student. This student will not waste their money. They want to see that this student does so well in their academic commitment. Secondly, they want to see that research and professional experience. They want to see that this student has the prospect, is promising in their field of studies. Either if it is a research program, then they would want you to do so well in your research. They want to see a research trajectory, that you are promising, that you hold there's something in you, that point, maybe work experience, or maybe you've done one research or the other. Then the third category, the third criteria is leadership potential. They want to see that this student is a responsible student, that this student is a leader, because these awarding bodies, they want to raise the next generation of leaders in the world. So they want to see that the person that they are giving this scholarship has what it takes to be responsible to themselves and to their community. Then the fourth criteria is community services. Community services would include things like volunteering. They want to see that this student is someone who has the spirit of giving back to their society. So we have helped this student, we are going to help this student, and after helping him, do we have a proof that this student will go back and help his community? Do we have a proof that this student will go back and make impact in the life of their community? So this scholarship look at a broader perspective when awarding this free money that they give out to people. They look at you wholesomely. They don't just focus on one aspect of your life, maybe your academics or something. They focus on everything, your personality, because it's your personality that informs whether you're a leader or you are a charitable person. You give back to your society. So it's your personality that tells them about that. So it's not just your academics, for example, you graduated with a first class, but it is also about your personality and about your academic achievement. These two things are indispensable if you are applying for scholarships like this scholarship I have mentioned. The ones I mentioned that not exhaustive. The list goes on and on and on and on. Almost every government in the world has one scholarship or the other. So, and again, many universities have their own scholarship they give out to students. So that is that for scholarships. They look at you on a broader perspective, on a broader dimension, to see how you measure up. It's not just about your academics or about some other things. So another thing I need to mention about scholarships is that they can be need-based or merit-based. Need-based is in the sense that this person comes from a poor background, ordinarily by their own volition or by their own efforts, they cannot afford to study in this university. So we give out, but they meet other criteria. They are hardworking people. So need-based scholarship focus more on your economic background. You understand? So that is why even when two students meet the same criteria, they are so good, they are so promising, they will focus more, they will pick the student whose economic situation makes it almost impossible for them to study at that particular university. So they would obviously give it to that student. So this is need-based scholarships. So, and many universities in the world, especially the Ivy Leagues and many important universities in the world, offer need-based kind of scholarship. Stanford, Harvard, Oxford, many of these universities, they offer need-based scholarships. They don't look at your background when they offer you admission, and they give you scholarship when they see that, oh, you want to be admitted, and then unfortunately you cannot study in our university because you do not have the economic background for the school. So they give out this scholarship. In fact, I'm not sure, I have not confirmed, but I heard for Harvard that every student they admit, both at the undergraduate level and at the graduate level, they look to see that if the whole income coming to your family is not up to $60,000 per year, that they are going to offer you a scholarship. That means almost half of African students who are applying to these universities stand a chance of getting this need-based scholarship. Because I mean, how many families in Africa, especially develop, and not just Africa, third world countries, can boast of making up to $60,000 a year? So yeah, you might want to consider that when you are looking for scholarships. Then there's also merit-based scholarship. This ones, they look at your academic achievement, first class, research experience, you've worked in a lab, you have research experiences up, and then you've won so many debates, so many speech competitions, so many spelling bees and those kind of stuff, look at your achievement mostly, and they award this scholarship to you based on your academic achievement, together with the other factors I have highlighted. So they don't really focus so much on whether you are disenfranchised from your economic background. So in this kind of scholarship, if a poor and a rich student meet the criteria, but the rich student meets the criteria more, has more like a more stellar academic records, they would obviously choose a rich student. But whereas if it is a need-based scholarship, they might consider the poor students more. They might consider the poor students. So yeah, this is the slight difference between merit-based and need-based scholarships. And in my estimation, everything, as a disclaimer, everything I said is according to my own understanding of how these things work from 2 years of researching into this scholarship thing. So I might be wrong, and I stand to be corrected. So please, if you think I have been wrong, I made wrong assertion about some of these claims I am now making, please do correct me. What I am saying is not in any way absolute. I might be wrong. So most of in European countries, especially the United Kingdom, most of the scholarship they give is based on merit based. It's more merit based kind of thing, and they focus so much on your academic achievement than any other factors like your economic background. In fact, in schools in North America, there is what you sometimes you are required to submit what they call personal statement of personal statement. So it is in your personal statement that you can highlight or mention every difficulties that you face while you were doing your maybe your undergraduate studies or your secondary school. That is where you also highlight social, economic, and cultural background. How you've been disenfranchised for a very long time because of your economic situation. So all these things they consider when dishing out these scholarships. Whereas for most schools in this United in European countries, they don't really consider personal statements. They just ask you for statement of purpose. That is where you state your motivation for wanting to embark on the studies you want to embark on. As we go forward in this YouTube video, in this YouTube channel, I'm going to be speaking into detail about some of these things I am saying, some of these big words I'm using. For those of you who might not know them, personal statement, statement of purpose, all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to be telling you more about them as the weeks unfold. The other kinds of free money you get is called assistantships. So what is an assistantship? Assistantships is the free money that is mostly for graduate students, it's mostly for graduate school. While scholarship, it can be for both undergrad and graduate studies. Assistantships are for mostly graduate school, that is postgraduate school or graduate school, whichever way you decide to call it. So schools award you with assistantships and they expect something in return. So assistantships can either be research assistantships or or teaching assistantships, meaning school will give you this. When school admits you, they would expect you to teach in their department. So as you teach, they pay you money for your teaching, which that money, and they waive your tuition, or that money they paid you, you can remove your school tuition from that money, and then you can remove your living expenses and your health insurance and the rest from that money. So many people going for graduate schools in the United States of America and Canada, or in North America, going for graduate studies, what they receive is assistantships. They call it teaching assistantships or research assistantships. So when you see somebody, I'm going for my PhD in the United States of America or in Canada, and I receive fully funded scholarship, in essence, what they receive is assistantships, and it could either be a research assistantship, in which case you are working with a professor in his lab, joining him in his whichever research he is doing. Then if it is teaching assistantships, mostly this is more common with humanities program. They give you one course. You also work with a professor to teach a course. So yeah, you work with a professor to teach a particular course, and that's how you will pay your school tuition and how you will live from where you get your transportation money and your living expenses. So if you hear again someone tells you, I have received fully funded scholarship, so you should suspect that it is an assistantship that is fully funded. So another thing which applies to both scholarships can be partial or it can be fully funded. So when a scholarship is fully funded, it means that they cover every expenses that you might incur while studying in that school, both your living expenses, your school tuition and board, your health insurance, and every other thing. And then teaching assistantships can also be partial and can also be fully funded. So it is fully funded when they cover everything, when the amount of money they give to you cover all your living expenses, your tuition and your health insurance. And it is partial when it does not. Maybe it only covers your school tuition and then you have to hustle out the rest of the expenses by yourself. So that is that about it. And one thing with assistantship is that they don't focus, their criteria is not as broad as that of the scholarships. So many assistantships look only towards your research experience. It's not that they don't look towards other things. They look. It's just that they focus more on your academic preparations, and your research experience. So you want to work with this professor in his lab. Do you have experience in the research he's at the present doing? The professor is working at the moment on molecular biology and some stuff in molecular biology. Do you have that academic credentials, that portfolio? Have you done something in your past university experience? You know, have you done something that relates to what the professor is doing? So they focus more on research, academic. You know, what courses have you done? You know, the courses you've done while you were doing your undergraduate, does it relate to what this professor is doing at the moment in his lab? Then for the humanities program, um they also want to find your suitability to their department, you know. So what areas of interest that attract you in their field, you know. So your areas of research interest, do they match with the areas of research interest that most faculty members in that department also have or share in common with you? Does your research interest align with the faculty of the school that you are going to or the department you are going to? So these are things they look towards, they look for. And so because of that, it is most like academic research based, although like I said, they also consider your background, because if you have 2-1 or 2-2, for example, and there's a genuine reason for having 2-2, it's not that you don't know, you are not intelligent, but because of your existential circumstances at the time prevented you from reaching your academic potentials, your academic goals. So that is why many North American schools will ask you for personal statements. So they consider that, but at the end, it still boils down to your academic preparations, to your research experience for assistantships. Because if you are going to teach a course, they want to make sure it is something that you are conversant with. If you are going to teach because they want to make sure that it is something you've done and you have at least the academic credentials to teach that course. Or if you are going to work in a lab, they want to make sure that your academic credentials sells you out, you know, distinguishes you or prepares you for whatever you will do in that particular lab. So that is that with assistantship. So it is mostly academic and research based. They look for academic preparations and research preparations, whereas scholarship is broader, looks at the personality, the the academic preparations as well, and your contribution to your society. I am not saying that the assistantship do not also focus on these things, but they focus on it on a, you know, on a more down low kind of thing, on a more down low kind of level, whereas for scholarship they consider everything together, like everything is together considered, whereas assistantships prides research and academic experience and preparations more than they do other criteria. Yeah, that is that with assistantships. Okay guys, I think I should stop here at the moment because the video is already getting so long. I got carried away with my repetitions and everything that the video is now so long. So perhaps I'm going to have a part 2 of this video, to at least in the next episode, so that you will see how you will use this information to prepare yourself as you apply for graduate school as this application season comes. So you will know how to use this information. But for now, these are the difference between the kind of, and again, I'm still going to, for my next in the part 2 of this video, I'm going to also talk about I'm also going to talk about fellowship. I've not mentioned fellowship, but fellowship is somehow like assistantships, but fellowship is like the both of them. It's like joins the quality for the two kinds of free money you get. So that's why in the next episode, I'm going to delve more into fellowship. And for now, let's leave it at that. The video is already long. So guys, thank you very much for watching this long video with me and for being here with me. I am so grateful. What can I ask? What more can I ask for? Thank you guys. Please make sure you like, you share, you comment, you watch. Make sure you subscribe. Please do subscribe. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave your comments and ask your questions. I'm very grateful once again. Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you. Yeah, bye bye.